Are you looking for an intelligent pressure control system? Look no further. In the following tutorial, we will introduce to you how to set your Grundfos LC controller to operate as two multi-pump pressure system. Let us see the settings with the Grundfos remote app. First, open your Grundfos remote app and push connect in the Bluetooth option. Press in your LC control, the blue blinking button, to accept the connection. Wait some seconds until system is logged and let us start the settings process. In the menu, go to Settings, select Level Control and first select Analog Sensor. Set the application type as filling. And configure the signal detection, enough to avoid repetitive tripping actions. In our example we set 3 seconds. Go to Control Pump 1 and set the pump off during the settings process. Repeat the process with the pump 2. Now, we will configure the pressure sensor input. First select LC I/O terminals, select the input where sensor is connected and set as analog input and select it as level. Second, set your measure units, meters in the example. We are going to set a pressure sensor 0 to 10 bar, then introduce 0 meters to 100 meters. The example signal is 0 to 10 volts, but you could find different sensors, please check it in advance. If you have secondary signals as dry running float, please configure these inputs. Now, let us back to set the motor protection in the controller. In the menu, you can set the current and the IEC trip curve. If pump includes internal standard protection, such as Clixon or and moisture switch, you can also set that protection here. Once protection is enabled, repeat the process with the pump number 2. Based on your application, you should check the list of advanced functions built in and set which improve the level protection and the operations. As an example, you could set the multi-pump settings to improve the cascade process, or others as the anti-seizing if your pumps are exposed to prolonged periods with no activity. You can enable or disable functions based on your needs. Now we are going to set the pressure settings to the operation. Choose the high level. We will limit the maximum pressure in the system to 9 bar. Reached the limit, the controller will trip an alarm and stop the system. We are going to set the pressure set point or stop level to 3 bar. Once arrived at 3 bar, system will stop the pumps. Remember that 10 meters is equivalent to 1 bar. Following in the example, we are setting the first pump activation pressure in 28 meters, equivalent to 2.8 bar. To the second pump, we are going to set in 2 bar the pump activation valve. You must set the parameters according to your installation needs, pipe limits and the pump size. Please remember to install a pressure relief valve to protect the installation as mechanical protection. As last step, we will change the pumps from the state off to auto mode. After that, the system will be ready to be run by pressure analog sensor automatically. In order you can see the controller response in front of pressure variation, we are going to simulate variations in this demonstration unit. As you can see in the demonstration, the controller switches on pump 2, when the value is lower than 2.8 bar and after waiting the 3 seconds. The controller will stop the pump, if the value reaches the 3 bar and after waiting the signal detection time. We are simulating again pressure lower than 2.8 bar, to prove that controller alternates the pump sequence. In this time pump 1 is activated when pressure drops the 2.8 bar. If pump 1 cannot hold the pressure, and pressure drops to 2 bar, controller will activate the pump 2 as we configured. Following, we are going to simulate an overpressure in the water line. Once it will overcome the high level pressure value of 90 meters or 9 bar. The system will alarm, inform us, and stop the pump's activation, waiting for the re-establishment of conditions of pressure. LC controller is flexible and open to secondary routines. So, for example, if we are experiencing an overpressure alarm, it can support us to activate an electro valve to relieve some water pressure to one secondary tank. As open controller and with the Grundfos remote AP, it can be adapted easily to multiple systems. We finally arrived at the end of this demonstration. Please remember that. Before the commissioning, read the product manual and clarify if there are doubts or incidents. Previously, set your people and motor protections. Remember, LC232 controller is the best choice to clean water pumping systems. It will bring functions as water quality sensor support, pulse flow meter input, scheduling program and more valued features in clean water applications. LC231 is the controller specific to wastewater pumping systems. If you have doubts about Grundfos LC controller, please contact your Grundfos responsible. Thank you for your attention.